Alright, Shalom. First off, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of the great millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. And the sincere peace salutation to all the Akim that's pushing his word in truth and in all sincerity. It's the brothers from the DC camp coming back at you with another epistle. Pretty much we want to touch on order, standing in order. You know, because really that's a lesson for all brothers, no matter how long you've been in the camp. It's something that you always want to reiterate. You know, is the importance of order. You start off in Corinthians.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
Right, so the scriptures is saying that all things be done decently and in order. There's a reason for that. You know, it's a reason for everything you do needs to be done in order. You know, there's always been a rank and file. Even when you go back to in the time of Moses, when Moses was taking on leading all of Israel by himself, Jethro told him that this is too much for you. You know that scripture? Yeah. If you can't find it, it's all good. You know, because really that was the beginning of the structure of Israel. You know, and that's what it is now, man. We are the body of the Lord. We're the body of Yahushua. You know, and without order is what? It's chaos, man. You know, without structure, there's nothing, man. You have to have a foundation that you're gonna stand on. So that's what we're gonna be harping on, man. You know, it's order. You found it? So don't worry about it. You know, you read Corinthians again.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
Yeah, let all things be done decently and in order. You know, get 1 Thessalonians.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 12. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord.
Right. It says, and I beseech you, brethren, to know them that labor among you. How will you know your brothers? What, by saying them once a week? Nah. You gotta always be amongst your brother, man. You gotta really be in tune with your brotherhood, man. This gotta be your family. You know? When you get that in Matthews, you know? Yeah, you know? That's the spirit. Because if you don't feel like the brother next to you is your brother, then you're not really doing what you're supposed to do in this truth, man. You go ahead and get it?
This is Matthew. What did you want specific?
Get to the point. What is it, 46?
Yeah. This is Matthew 12, verse 46. While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him.
And this is Yahushua. So his mother and his brother, his fleshly family, they wanted to talk to him like, yo, I gotta holler at you right now. It's urgent. Go ahead.
Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee.
Right.
But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother, and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples, and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
So as you hear that brother read that scripture, you gotta seriously ask yourself, do you truly feel about your brother like that? Do you truly feel that way? You know? If you don't really feel that way, you don't necessarily know who's laboring among you. You know? When all hell breaks loose, and then and you start to see tendencies of brothers, when trouble is happening, you're not gonna know if that's how that brother normally acting now. If you're not amongst them, read Thessalonians again, and then hold Proverbs on that.
Okay. It's 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 12. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you.
And are over you in the Lord and admonish you. You see? Brothers gotta understand when you first come amongst the brotherhood that there's already been rank and order established. that now you are coming up under. You see? So you're supposed to know your brothers and then know them that's over you and admonish you, meaning warning you. Get Proverbs 9 and 8 real quick. You know, because that warning is not always going to be something nice and dandy, man. You may get cussed the hell out, but then you're going to have to know how to take that. You know, go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 8. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee.
Right.
Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee.
So that goes into knowing who's among you, man. You know, because we all going to fall short. We all going to need correction at some point. But how do you take that? You know, if it's coming from a sincere brother, you know, hey man, that's the spirit of the Lord coming to correct me. So when correction come your way, you're supposed to stay in order and just check yourself, even if you don't necessarily agree with it. You know, even if you don't necessarily agree what's coming your way, you're supposed to check yourself like, damn, that may be the spirit of the Lord. You know, and that's coming from a man of the Lord that you should know. You know, you got something?
Come on.
Go ahead.
This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 13. Submit yourselves to every ordinance of a man for the Lord's sake, whether it be the king as supreme, or unto governors as unto them that are sent by him, for the punishment of evildoers and for the praise of them that do well. There's more into that, but the reason why I brought that out says because order goes to ordinance. Order comes from the word ordinance, you know, and you're supposed to submit. You're supposed to submit yourself to the order for the Lord's sake. You know, of course, that's going into the law of the land and things of that nature. You got to be what they call law-abiding citizens and things of that nature. But also, the Lord is raising up the tabernacle of David. This is the actual government, and we're supposed to submit ourselves to the order that's established, man. Some more.
Good.
I'm gonna jump down. This is 1 Peter 2 and 18. Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the froward. For this is thankworthy, if a man for conscience toward the heavenly Father endure grief, suffering wrongfully. It says, for what glory is it if when ye be buffeted for your faults, you shall take it patiently? But if when you do well and suffer for it, you take it patiently, this is acceptable with the Most High.
See, that goes into having faith, man. That goes into truly being a man of the Lord, like we read in Proverbs 9 and 8. You know, like a scorner just going to scorn and scoff and bitch. You know, but if you understand the scriptures, you'll understand that man's going of the Lord. How can he then understand his own way, or that the step a man doesn't direct his own steps? Roughly paraphrased. You know, so if you up under men that you feel ain't really treating you right, if you know in your heart you sincere, the Lord's going to deliver you from that. You know, so what you're supposed to do is just check yourself and try to move accordingly. Stay in order. You know, you can go elaborate on
that. Yeah, and it says, verse 21, for even hereunto were you called, because Yahushua also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. So Yahushua was without fault, but he suffered the cross, he suffered the afflictions, being despised, mocked, and ridiculed for our sake, so that we can get the truth and be saved. You know? Mm-hmm. So suffering wrongfully is also something that's going to be a part of this thing. You know?
Yep.
That's a part of this thing. A righteous man, you have to submit that. You have to have a conscience that says having your conscience toward the Heavenly Father, knowing that the Most High judges righteously. Mm-hmm. You know?
I got something. You got something real quick?
Yeah, I got something real quick. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 2.
Yeah, that's weird.
It says, feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. You know, and as the brother was alluding to, man, we got to constantly set our mind to the brotherhood, man, and forsake, the worldly things that we have going on, and constantly feed our brothers, man. Making sure we straight, as a body,
Yeah, keep going.
This is verse 3. It says, neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being examples to the flock.
Right, and that's what brothers that are in rank, because everything is everything applies to everyone, as we said in the beginning of the video. I don't care if you're the last brother or the head brother. Hey, everybody is to be in order. Everybody is to know their role, and as the scriptures have said, be examples to the flock. Because you can't bring down harsh judgment when the brother just looking at you. You got to be on point too. Keep going.
Okay. This is verse 4. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away.
And that's talking about Yahweh Shai, when the chief shepherd appeared. But keep going.
Okay. Verse 5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder.
Now you always got to understand that. Likewise, ye younger men, us younger brothers, we are going to submit ourselves to our elders, man. Why? Because that's how the Lord set it up through the Spirit. Keep going.
It says, yeah, all of you be subject one to another,
right,
and be clothed with humility.
So you're supposed to be clothed with humility. You're supposed to humble yourself. The humble shall, the meek shall inherit the earth, man. You see? So we're supposed to be clothed with humility when we subjecting ourselves under another man. And that's just what it is. Why? Because that's how the Lord set it up, man. Keep going, bro.
God. For the Most High resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble.
Right. You see? So that's what it's all about, man. Stand in order, submitting yourself. You should never covet another brother's position, because the Lord ain't give it to you. If the Lord give it to you, then you're supposed to deal accordingly. You got something?
Yeah, come on. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying, it applies to everyone. Everyone's held accountable. This is 1 Peter 1:17. And if you call on the Father, who without respect of persons judgeth according to every man's work, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear. So another word for us being held accountable, the Heavenly Father has no respect of persons. The Lord's going to judge every man according to his works. And part of submitting yourself is what? Sojourning in fear, man. Having a fear of the Lord. That's a fear of the Lord. Submitting to a brother, that's having faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. That's having fear in Yahweh Shem Shai, knowing that the Lord set that brother up to be over you.
Yep. Right, and if that brother's being a tyrant, the Lord is going to deliver you from it. You're supposed to remain humble. That's why I said clothed with humility. You remain humble, and you remain faithful unto Yahweh while Yahweh Shai, and they're going to deliver you. If a brother is wrong, if a brother treating you wrong, or putting a scope here on you and you undeserving of having it, you just got to be patient. As the brother brought out the scripture earlier, suffering wrong for them. But your job is to stay in order, because you are responsible and accountable for your actions. Nobody else's. Go and get that.
God, this is Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness.
And this is the flip side, man. If you see a younger brother that may have messed up, that may have kind of went off, or whatever the case may be, you ought to remember the Lord that we serve. Let me get that real quick. Just real quick. Brothers know I love Sirach, the second chapter. This is Sirach 2 and 18. It says, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord, and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy. So we know how high Yahweh is. He is. There's nothing else to explain about it. He just is, man. He's everything. So as he is, so is his mercy. So who are you to not have mercy on a brother that's sincere? That's the flip side of being in order.
This is Psalms 103 and 11. For as the heaven is high above the earth, So great is his mercy toward them that fear him.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Keep going.
It says, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
You see? Restore such within that brother, which is spiritual. You're supposed to be spiritual. Hey, you correct that brother, and you watch his reaction. You know, if he start bitching, he start bucking up, all right, hey, he's scorned. He may not be a brother. Take his ass to counsel now. You know? But if the brother is sorrowful, hey man, you're supposed to hey brother, hey man, pick yourself up. You're supposed to give him the scriptures to lift his spirits back up. You know? Considering yourself. Because none of us are perfect, man. You know? Considering yourself, lest ye be tempted next. Since you don't want to have mercy. You know? Keep going.
Verse 2, bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Yahweh Shai.
Hey man, over here in DC, if the Zaquan Monacan brought a brother into this camp, hey man, you ought to teach, you ought to treat that brother as a brother. You know? So we're going to bear each other's burden until brother's proven otherwise. You know? And that's standing order. That's order, man. That's how it is, man. We're a family. We ought to stick together. You know? You got something?
Come on.
Good.
This is Psalms 37 and 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand.
And that's for the sincere, man. That's for the sincere Yahweh or Yahweh Shai, the ones who truly trying their best to be righteous servants of the Lord. You know? So Lord's willing, I'm gonna wrap it up. You know, we ain't supposed to go too long. But, you know, Lord's willing, brothers was edified and understanding the importance of standing in order, man. You know, standing in order and submitting yourself and just holding yourself accountable to your actions and the way you're supposed to be, and manning your rank wherever you fall at. You know? So with that, Lord's will, brothers, edified, and we'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of the great millstone, and peace and salutation to all the Akim that's actually sincere out there pushing this work. Shalom.
Shalom.